The journey to earning my first $100. Part 1. The spark of an idea. My name is Jack, and this is the story of how I earned my first $100. It was a time when I was just starting to explore the world of money and self-reliance. Growing up in a small town, money was always tight. I saw my parents work hard every day to provide for us, but there was never extra. I often wondered what it would be like to have money of my own. I was about 15 years old when the thought first crossed my mind. I wasn't just interested in making money to buy things like most teenagers. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. I didn't want to rely on anyone else. I spent hours after school on the computer, learning new things, watching tutorials, and reading articles. I love technology, and one day, I came across an article about freelance work. It talked about how people could make money by offering services online, like writing, graphic design, and even web development. That was when it hit me. Why not try something like that? Part 2. The first step towards independence. I started by thinking about what skills I already had. I wasn't a brilliant writer or an expert in coding, but I knew a thing or two about design. In school, I had always been good at drawing and had a good sense of layout and color. That seemed like a good place to start. I decided to create flyers and posters for small local businesses. I thought about the shops in my neighborhood that could use a little help with marketing. I walked around the area and noticed that many small businesses didn't have clear, attractive advertisements. Some had handwritten signs, and others didn't have any promotional material at all. I spent a week learning how to use basic design software. It wasn't easy, and I had to watch countless YouTube tutorials, but I was determined. After a few days, I created my first poster. It was simple but clean, with bold colors and easy-to-read text. I printed a few copies and walked to the closest bakery to ask if they would buy one. Part 3. The first rejection. At first, I was nervous. What if they said no? What if they laughed at me? But I was determined. I walked in and spoke to the owner. "Hi, I noticed that your shop doesn't have any advertising materials, and I'd love to help by designing a poster for you. I can make one for 50,000 VND, roughly $2. The owner looked at me skeptically. "Are you sure you can do this? You look so young." I nodded and showed her the poster I had made. She still seemed unsure but agreed to give it a try. "All right, but just one. Let's see how it turns out." I walked out of the bakery feeling both proud and nervous. I went back home and made a few adjustments to the poster. I printed it, then carefully folded it and went back to the bakery to deliver it. Part 4. The first payment. A few days later, I received a phone call from the bakery owner. "The poster looks good," she said. "I'm going to hang it up. I'll pay you the 50,000 VND tomorrow." I couldn't believe it. I just made my first sale, my first money. The feeling was unreal. I quickly realized that this was only the beginning. I had earned my first income, doing something I loved. Part 5. Building confidence. Encouraged by my success with the bakery, I decided to approach other businesses. I went to the local grocery store, a small cafe, and a few clothing shops. I repeated the same pitch. "I can make a poster for you for just 50,000 VND. If you like it, I can make more." The response was a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Some shop owners turned me down right away, while others agreed to give it a try. Each time I completed a new project, I learned more about what worked and what didn't. I kept refining my designs and offering new ideas to my clients. Part 6. The challenge of finding regular clients. Soon, I started gaining a few regular clients. I would make posters for their seasonal sales or new products. Some of my clients even started recommending me to others. It wasn't easy though. There were weeks when business was slow, and I started doubting myself. Maybe I wasn't as good as I thought, I wondered. But each time I faced a setback, I reminded myself of how far I had come. I pushed through the tough times by focusing on improving my skills. I practiced more, asked for feedback, and made sure to deliver better work each time. Part 7. The road to $100. After a couple of months, I had built a small but steady clientele. It wasn't always easy, but I was making money consistently. I saved up what I earned, and when I finally reached 2 million VND, I realized I had hit my goal. That was $100. It wasn't just the money that felt incredible. It was the sense of accomplishment. I had worked hard, faced rejections, learned new skills, and stuck to my goal. It was a huge milestone for me, and I couldn't have been prouder. Part 8. What I learned along the way. Looking back, I realized that earning my first $100 wasn't just about the money. It was about perseverance, creativity, and taking risks. It taught me that even small steps could lead to big results. I also learned that failure is part of the process. Not every client was happy, and not every idea worked out. But each mistake taught me something valuable. Over time, I improved my designs, my communication skills, and my ability to manage clients. Part 9. Moving forward. Since then, I've continued to build my freelance business. I expanded into other areas like website design and social media management. But I never forgot the lessons I learned when I earned my first $100. It wasn't just about making money. It was about proving to myself that I could achieve something on my own. If you're thinking about starting your own journey, don't be afraid to try new things. It might seem scary at first, but every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow. Just take the first step, and you might surprise yourself with what you can accomplish. Conclusion. That was the story of how I earned my first $100. It was the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, and it taught me many valuable lessons. I hope my story inspires you to take action, no matter how big or small your dreams may be. Believe in yourself, and you can achieve anything you set your mind to.